It's that time. Go big or go home for all of these young players in our re-entry squad for the Parker Bohn III Scholarship Tournament. 23rd edition of this great event here at Howell Lanes in Howell, New Jersey for this edition, as it has been for many recent years. I'm $2 Phil Brylow taking you through tonight, taking you through the weekend. As tomorrow we begin our bracketed match play finals. We're going to get the exact bracket numbers for these young players after the final entry counts have been made. So unofficially, Parker said last round it was going to be 4 for the 15 and under girls, 8 for the 15 and under boys, 12 for the 18 and under girls, and the full 16 bracket for the 18 and under boys. We'll get those numbers verified a little later on in the squad. After these young players complete the practice, we'll give you the full rundown, tournament pattern, top scores to this point, what the official cut's going to be, and 5 games these players have to go big or go home. We've got about 7 minutes of practice left. We'll join you with just a little time before practice ends. As I'm $2 Phil Brylow and myself and $2 Phil's 10 on the Deck Productions bringing you all the action this weekend. I want to thank Parker and Leslie Bohn for bringing me in this weekend and sharing this magnificent youth event with the bowling world through the wonders of live streaming and YouTube. All right, crowd's starting to come in here on YouTube, whether you're watching us on the Justin Bohn page or you're watching us on the Parker Bohn, the third scholarship tournament page. Bowlers are in the last 40 seconds or so of practice. Remember, we have every pair in play coming to you during all of qualifying and all of match play tomorrow. And if you're watching us on the Strike Central channel and you don't see your favorite player on screen yet, obviously we can only fit 4 at a time. Best thing to do is double tab. Leave whatever tab you have our Strike Central feed on. Leave that tab open. And then open a second tab in your browser. Go back to YouTube. Find that Parker Bohn, the third scholarship tournament page. And then when that comes up on your screen, you'll get that feed. It shows you 7 live streams right now. Every pair in play in coverage. So just keep searching until you find your favorite player. And we're going to let Parker make the final announcements as practice is completing. And we're getting ready to have that first ball thrown on our reentry squad. We are starting now. Joining me in the booth, the man who decided his score is good enough for that top 16 tomorrow in the boys 18 and under division. And that is one Brandon Bohn in the booth.
Well, hey, Phil,
you took the picture too soon. Now I got your name. You take that picture again. I got your name up on the graphic and everything. You can't take a picture of what you're working on without having your name on it for everyone to see.
I'll take another picture.
So, yeah, there you go.
Boom.
Beautiful.
Now I feel like I'm needed in this world, you know?
Hey, if you're on with $2 Phil, you have made it in this world, no doubt about that.
For sure.
So, once again, everybody in this squad has bowled at least one other squad, and they think they've either thrown a score that's not even close or a score that might be in now, but they want to try to improve on it. So you're going to see all familiar faces in here, and what we're going to do at the beginning of this squad now is I'm going to rest my voice a little bit because it's going to be a busy day tomorrow. We're going to let Brandon take over. He's going to bring a guest or two in the booth. I'll still be here keeping an eye on things, but, yeah. I'm actually going to walk around and see if I can find some of these young players I've seen all day and actually get to watch more than one shot on the pair I've been covering. Brandon, it's all yours now. Ship's all yours, sir.
All right.
Good luck to you.
All right, here we go. I am bringing in special guest all the way from Florida, came in for this tournament, and his name is Michael Harmon Jr. Michael, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Watching a lot of bowling these last couple of days, obviously here with friends and family, having a great time. Always a great event to be a part of. So I try and make it as much as I can, and I was able to make the trip this year, so decided to come out here. I know you and Ian, my little brother Ian, you two are both in. You two are both in the cut line right now for the top 16 pretty safely.
At least we'd like to hope so. You know,
It take 6 or 7 boys to go plus 50 this block. So I think you guys are good. What is your view of the pattern out here? What do you think?
so we do have a graph. It is the special made by JJ from Kegel. Those of you who don't know JJ, John Janowicz,
I love that guy.
the mastermind behind all patterns at Kegel. He designed us a 42-foot pattern this year for this year's event. It's about a 3.5 to 1 ratio. And the scores, I would have thought they would have been a little higher. They're
The
a little low.
transition is a big factor. You see a lot of people bowling really good the first game, and then next thing you know, games 2, 3, and 4, big fall off, and then they big game the last game. That's what I'm seeing a lot of. So really, because of this tournament and the nature of this tournament, you can bowl as many squads as you want. You can sign up for as many squads as you want. So a lot of people are coming out here that might still be in the number, are still coming out here and trying to get that experience on the pattern to know what it's going to do in games 3, 4, 5. But when we do get into the match play portion, there's not going to be 4 in a pair, so it won't break down as quickly. And I'd imagine the people that will be bowling will all be bowling pretty close to the same part of the lane, and breaking it down a lot quicker maybe in that sense, because there's more people with a little bit more surface on their balls breaking down the same part of the lane.
Yeah, you know, and what we've seen so far is there's a lot of different ways to attack this pattern. You're going to attack it with urethane, strong ball, weak ball, shiny, dull. And it's not like there's a key ball right now, right? There's a lot of people playing a few different parts of the lane, as we saw there. Ooh, 6-7 on lane 12. But as you're getting to, Mike, there's a lot of ways to attack it. And earlier today, we actually saw a 300 game by Daniel Robertson to get himself into the number. And we might actually see him later on this block, as he has re-entered himself into the final qualifying squad here. He will be bowling tomorrow. Just all about right now, what position are you bowling?
I was telling the viewers is, just bowling as many squads to get that experience on the lanes and see how they're going to break down. And they're going to break down obviously differently pair to pair. So maybe knowledge of the center is another big thing with bowling more. Yeah,
I was going to interject because it's just like, okay, if you're well in, why throw another $70 at the well here in order to, because with 1 to 16, you don't know who you're going to be bowling with seating anyway tomorrow. So it's got to be like you said. It's got to be you're just sitting there and trying to get some house knowledge, I guess, Michael. Wouldn't that be any other reason why to do it?
The years that I've bowled this, I've only actually bowled this 2 times, and I have bowled 3 squads each time. And one of the years I was in on the first squad and bowling the next 2 just for like you said, I needed to see my ball on different pairs of the house. I needed to see my ball with different people in the house, and that's what those extra blocks would do for me. And yeah, I mean, it's a brilliant idea. Just if you really, really want to win this tournament, you want to know what's going to happen on each pair of lanes. You want to know how the lanes are going to break down. You're going to be watching squads as well as another thing. If you're not bowling in them, watching in them, seeing who's throwing what ball where, and how are they trying to attack the lane, and how is the lane developing, depending on that. So I know for me, urethane was always good in this house on the right. If you kept it in front of you and really tumbled it, it worked well for me, especially on the track.
What's with the East Coast water that I'm getting like a majority of lefties in front of me all the time here at 7 and 8? Like lefties make up 25% or 10% of the population. They seem to be making up 25% of the bowlers here. And I mean, we got three lefties starting here in 7 and 8. The 3 gentlemen all left-handed.
They all want to be like Brandon Parker. I don't blame them.
Great shot there on lane 7.
I tell you what, Phil, if I could go back 15 years and pick up a bowling ball for the first time, it'd be with my left hand, not my right.
Okay.
All right, Michael. All right. Just because you
I'm
haven't
not
had
saying,
as much
no.
success as
Listen to
some
me.
lefties have had.
Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm not saying anything bad about lefties. I'm just saying it is advantageous at times to be left-handed. And there is nothing wrong with that comment.
No,
It is also advantageous to be right-handed at some times.
Right.
Because the lefties can be shut out.
I think the last 5 years on the PBA Tour, lefties, it's feast or famine for a majority of them. There's the exceptions to the rule, obviously, like Matt Russo was here and Jake Buttruff and Jesper Svensson, but the lefty drought's real if you get in the advanced part of professional competition, whether it's on the men's side or the women's side. I mean, other than Shannon Pluhowski, name me another quality lefty on the PWBA Tour right now.
Only other one I can think of, Phil, is Cherry Tan, and even when she doesn't, or when she does come over, you know, it's really difficult out there to make a living as being a left-hander nowadays, because you either got it or you don't got it. When you got it, I'm sure there's going to be other lefties that have it too.
Yeah, but I mean, in a lot of other competitions, like Michael said, if you're just bowling tournaments and houses around your area and stuff like that, you know a lot of times you're going to have an advantage as a lefty because there's not as much action on that side of the lane.
Correct.
So, and I will tell you this: the really good lefties completely understand that, and they use it to their advantage.
Right.
And that's why they are some of the best in the world.
And that's why I'm retired as a lefty. I'm getting out of here for a minute. See you guys.
Wow.
All right.
Well, now we have it. Now we only have one lefty and a righty in the booth. So we're going to take a look here at 7 and 8. We have a two-handed lefty that just drew on 7, and a Brooklyn for a 4-pin. And next up is another lefty, Michael. Here stepping on lane 8, Braden Cassidy off of a 7 miss. Oh.
That's not very fun.
Yeah,
that's a good shot on lane 8. Good shot there. Just got to take that one in stride, make a spare, move on.
So, Michael, I will ask you a question here, and feel free, if we have any comments in the chat, we will try to reach them. What is your favorite thing about coming to this tournament every year?
Just everybody here. A lot of people, a lot of friends, and some people now I consider as my family are here at this event every year, and that's the reason. That's the reason I came the second time after 2019, and that's the reason I came from, all the way from school, all the way out here to come see everybody. It's just, these are some, I know for me, just seeing all my friends and my family, it's very special. I don't take it for granted, and I enjoy every moment of it. So that's why I'm here. And it's also cool. I get to watch my little brother bowl, and even a bonus is he's getting to bowl tomorrow, hopefully. So
hopefully.
I mean, I think plus 49 is in there for sure.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the scores real quick. We have in the U18 boys division, Andrew Blaney.
He ran him this morning. I don't know what ball he was throwing, but if I were to take a guess, it would be a pitch black.
If I were to take a huge guess, it would be a pitch black, and he's probably throwing it hard. I bowled with Andrew last night.
Good shot there on lane 8. Just ball just never picked up. Something a little maybe too shiny.
And the doubles competition, we actually led it, ended up winning the doubles competition with Andrew. So taking another look at the U18 boys division so far with one squad left. Andrew Blaney is your leader at plus 201. Devin Kiesling, Andrew Robitaille, Vincent Bien, Aiden Davis, Mason Doan, Daniel Robertson, as we saw earlier, off 300 game 4. Jeffrey Swisher, Nicholas Platoni, and Michael Martins rounds out your top 10 at plus 64. The cut for the top 16.
Where are you and Ian at? You and Ian are like 11 and 12?
I'm in 11th.
Ian's in 12th, right?
52. Ian's 12. Ian's also 13. Then Andrew Sass is 14th. Nathan DeMello is 15th. And Bradley Allen is 16th.
So then what's the number at 17? Because Ian's in there twice.
Ian's in there twice, so it is currently -2.
So -2 is the cut.
-2 is currently the cut for the boys under 18.
I said before Thursday. I said plus 23. So I think I might be pretty close. If a couple boys bowl good this block, I could be pretty close. And I know there is a couple boys in this block that can make some noise and get their name in that top 16. How are you preparing for tomorrow?
How am I preparing myself for tomorrow? Just kind of watching, seeing where a lot of the balls are going, and it doesn't look like, although there are some exceptions to the rule here, it doesn't look like a lot of urethane is being thrown down the lane.
I know you'll try and fix that, right?
Yeah, I'll try to fix it. I don't know how well that will work. But,
if you listen to your ball rep, you might throw the DVA collision. I don't know who told you that,
who's
but
my ball rep, Michael?
whenever you threw that ball, you seem to strike a lot. And I just remember telling you to throw that ball. So maybe if you listen to me just a little bit more often, you might get it right tomorrow.
So you're calling yourself my ball rep?
I'm not saying I'm your ball rep. I'm just saying I'm a helping hand that just lent you some information that was to throw the DVA collision, and then you started striking in practice magically. So,
well, you know, Michael, you ball rep me yesterday, and I bowled 2-0 the first game. The next game I changed balls and I had the front 8.
He's just saying he wants his 10%. That's all he's saying.
Yeah.
well, I left after that, so I don't know what happened. It wasn't my fault.
Well,
I probably would have told you to ball change then if I was there.
The next 3 games, I need to go back to that collision because the next 3 games they didn't help the scorecard. So that's why I almost elected to bowl the squad. If I would have changed balls, I probably would have been all right. But now we're here, we're watching, and
How's the life at Mount Mercy for you there, brother?
Mount Mercy is great. I'm loving every minute of it so far. So
Excited for the season?
I am very excited for the season here. Getting underway in about
a month,
a few weeks. Yeah,
Do you have to walk through cornfields to get from your dorm room to the bowling center?
There aren't any cornfields in well where we are. Iowa is known for the cornfields, but I would say that maybe I only see one, but not as many as people think. I know when you think of Iowa, you think of cornfields. At least I do, but I'm happy to be there. And it's a really cool environment, very unique, and looking forward to seeing what goes on in the future here. So
I know we will both be at the first tournament together, Midwest, right? We will both be there in Milwaukee, so I'll see you there.
Yes, and for all tuning in, you may have just seen that we have a wall on lane 6. We start the building now on lane 7, right? Many people may be wondering why.
Now I have a question just for it. Are we doing the finals in Reverend?
Why? I'm gonna get there. So why are we starting the house on lane 7 now? Well, Phil's gonna take us over. He has what is now called the Rev Rates University. We have an ongoing joke, right? It's called Rev Rates University, and this is where you can go in and learn all the tools behind what goes on.
Obviously, everyone in there is now having fun, shooting at some crazy stuff.
Yes, but you're looking at Rev Rates VIP.
I know for certain I took advantage of this a couple days ago. I was practicing in here, shooting a lot of spares. You got the Brunswick My Shot, which means you can set up whatever spare you want. You guys got the torch, you got Specto. I mean, everything that you could ever imagine is in that building.
Yep, and inside Rev Rates VIP Entertainment is Bohn's Elite Training, our training center on the East Coast. And if you guys haven't checked it out, go check out revrates.vip online for everything Rev Rates and Bohn's Elite Training. So don't check it out. Don't want to miss it. And we will tomorrow. The finals will be inside there on lanes 1 through 5, so
that's pretty cool, man.
Check it out tomorrow.
Wait, we're using string pins? Hold on 1 second. If we're using 5, that means we're using string pins.
All right, I should say 1 to 4.
All right.
1 to 4, we will have the finals. So it's gonna be really unique. And
anybody shooting a number this first game?
Nothing really. I just took a peek around the house here on my monitor, and there are not a lot of straight strings. Whoever 29C is, they got a few in a row, but that's after a couple of spared and open, and then they got a 5-bagger.
Can we take a look over at?
Yeah, here we go. We'll bring them up right here.
Here we
You can
have it.
identify the bowler. I'm instantly gonna black cloud him again by going to them. I've been doing it all day. The only time I didn't
Looks
do
like
it.
Micah Voorhees.
Yes, it is. Actually.
He's pretty deep on the lane too. Great shot
Very
there
good
in
shot.
the 8th
I think
frame.
he actually needs to get into the number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not currently in the number here.
I got some cash that says he will. He's a good bowler. Good
Yeah.
kid. Really good kid.
So another good shot there on
Just
lane
doesn't
30.
throw the right bowling balls.
Yep. It's all the bowling ball's fault, Michael. Right?
That is true.
Yep.
Yeah, because the ball always rolls over the brand label to get in the way.
All the time.
Yep.
All right. Any other strings around the house that we're seeing so far?
Not particularly. A lot of people on that struggle bus early.
Ooh,
And,
almost messed around
yeah,
lane 10.
there's everybody else.
Fans couldn't
there's
see that one, but there was almost a message around lane 10.
Yeah, I'm looking at a bunch of scores where they're still in the double digits, getting into the 7th and 8th frames. So that's going to be a little tough to bust 200 when you're sitting there.
Micah's about to be up on the right lane again, so
So we'll watch one more shot from Micah here, and then we'll go back to the low end here.
he is very deep, and you know what? I think that is a very, very good play, especially early on.
You think
You're
so,
gonna
Mike?
No, listen to me. You're going to have, especially on the right-hand side, you're going to have a lot of people that are trying to just play like straight up the track, close to the track. So then those two-handers can take advantage of it. They can stand really far left. They can get in deep, and they can use they use the oil in the middle of the lane as a little bit of push, and if they get it right into the track, then it'll read up. It's a genius strategy right here we're watching. Look at
looks
that.
like-
Look at that. I mean,
He's got a little hook there.
you see that, Brandon?
Yeah, that's a 7-bagger.
You got no chance against that kid.
I haven't seen. I mean, I've been watching 5 squads before this. I haven't seen hardly any players left the 4th arrow even in game 5.
I know my brother was pretty deep as
Okay.
well. I don't think he was that deep, but
Yeah.
I know he was playing deep as well, and that's kind of what I told him. I don't know if I'm letting the secret out of the bag here, but I think a very good play is burning up a little bit of that track and then getting left and taking advantage of the oil in the middle of the lane is a little bit of shim, and if you get it right into the track, it'll pick up.
All right, wise words here from my ball rep yesterday, Phil. You know,
The man who's getting your 10%.
yep. Great shot there on lane 7.
It's like a Hollywood agent.
I'll be waiting for it.
One way or another, they're going to get 10% no matter what they do to you.
Yeah,
Or
he's
for
gonna
you.
get my my
Good shot there on lane
10%
10.
in scholarship money, because that's what I will be taking. You know,
Well, that's
after-
what all players here are required to do.
I could
Yep.
take my 10% in Chick-fil-A points actually too.
Oh, yeah?
Fun fact, I was in the airport for a very long time. I had a delay on the way here, and I thought to myself, why do I not have a Chick-fil-A rewards plan? Because I eat it way too often. So
Yeah.
I got myself one.
Oh, really?
So I will accept points as well as cash payment.
Well, when you tell me how you can accept Chick-fil-A points off of scholarship money, I will give you my 10% of earnings this weekend for helping me out, and I will give you your Chick-fil-A points.
I'm pretty sure we can call somebody.
Somebody?
Where there's a will, there's a way.
I don't know about that, but you know,
I think your dad,
I'll agree.
Your dad might know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy.
we know guys who also know guys.
Yes.
So who might know ladies too.
I was going to say, yeah, 'cause it's usually a lady that ends up fixing the problem, right?
Yeah,
Us guys, we just keep passing the buck and moving it
Gotta
to
hope.
somebody else.
Got a hook.
that is true. So as we are wrapping up here, game 1 on 7 and 8.
Is Micah finishing out strong down there?
Let's take a look.
Take another quick look down on 29 and 30. Michael
Yeah, he's
Voorhees.
just getting ready to step up again. He's got the first one in the 10th. We'll do a quick switch here. Oh, no, this is the first one in the 10th.
I mean,
When you're-
just
when-
how you write it up, Coach.
When you're stepping it out, that ball still has 15 feet to the pocket. You know you're throwing it good.
Unless you're Justin Bohn, who steps it out.
and I'm gonna go out on a limb here. We didn't see the second frame, but I'm gonna think the second shot was a washout
I was going to say a
That's what
washout
I
or a
think.
bucket, yeah.
for the 6.
Yeah.
But he did not lose faith, and he stayed where he's at, and the ball started to hook more. And all he's got to do now for the rest of the block is just inch in a little bit more deeper. And
Yep.
just continue to take advantage of the natural shim in the middle of the lane. And as they get burnt up a little bit more on the track, just inch in the feet a little bit further left. But it's gonna be interesting So you got away with one there.
2 pin.
It's going to be interesting tomorrow if that works very well, because how many minutes of practice do they get before their matches?
10 minutes.
Do we know? 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Are they? Is he him as a two-hander? Is he going to be able to break down the track area hard enough in those 10 minutes for that to work? That's the question.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd be interested to see what happens and what goes on in those 10 minutes. But we will see tomorrow.
I know for 100% certainty this is a shot makers tournament.
Indeed.
So
It
he's
is.
just got to make shots. And
Yeah, you know, as good as the graph looks on paper, the graph doesn't always play like how it's laid out. And
yeah,
we're going
there's
to
a
see
lot of other factors: topography, how old the lanes are in the house, how much the track's beat up.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that goes into putting out a 42-foot pattern here. So coming up next is game 2 out of 5. We have
I'm excited
one
to
last squad.
see some
Mike.
more people down here and see what they're doing.
So
Because I think Micah's going to actually come. Micah will be making the turn, right?
looks
Right,
like
Phil?
Michael will be on 9 and 10 coming up.
Yeah, we'll be right next door, so we'll keep an eye on him. We'll bring him in here and there. We want to make sure we give the kids on 7-8 the chance to get their feature pair. But,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
we'll keep bouncing around like we just did. We find a hot hand. I'm not afraid to get everything moved over. And let's take a little audio intermission, guys. As soon as we get some new players back here on 7-8, we'll jump back in.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Game 2 coming up next.
All right. You ready here, Michael?
I am ready to go.
We're starting game 2 here.
So Micah shot 54. Micah shot 54 down there. And now he's on 9 and 10. We're still waiting for everyone to come from 7 and 8.
So we're going to take a look over here at 9 through 12 here. On lane 12, stepping up is Nicholas Platoni, I believe.
He was the leader for a day. He was at 7. He had a 70 over.
He had a good block yesterday.
Over block.
Yeah. Junior gold champion Joseph Dominguez there on lane 10.
Yep.
And look who we have stepping up on lane 10. Michael, we totally just didn't talk about him last game.
We did.
It's Micah Voorhees.
Another thing I want to point out about this tournament is the amount of talent it brings in over the years, the amount of talent that has come through this tournament. And it's just people who love the bowl, are good at bowling, and just want to have a great weekend, and this is the place they go for it.
You know, we always said, Michael, that, you know, you put on a tournament with a fair amount of money, and the bowlers will come, right? Doesn't matter, you know, what's going on that weekend. You know, you put on something that people know about and people have seen before. The bowlers are going to come, right? So
yeah,
that's what we like to think about this tournament, and we're trying to find ways to grow it each and every year. And if you have anything that you'd like to add, shoot us a message.
Any questions?
We're always looking to improve.
Yes.
Any improvements that we can get, receive.
Or any questions just from me and Brandon at the moment.
Yeah. So
dump in the YouTube chat if you're watching us on the Justin Bohn channel. The chat's active there, so if you got questions for either of these gentlemen, I can relay them. I'll read them and relay them, and we'll get some answers for you.
Yep. So Justin is actually streaming this channel to his link, and then all other channels are being streamed on the Parker Bohn III Junior Scholarship Tournament page on YouTube.
This one's going to YouTube as well, so this one's going 2 places. This one's going to Parker's page and to Justin's page.
So let's go take a look at 7 and 8 over here. The bowlers have arrived, and we're gonna catch game 2 here on 7 and 8. Looks like, Michael, another left-hander.
I'm not surprised.
There's a fair amount of left-handers right now.
Brandon Bohn Palmer's down there on lane 12 as well.
He is indeed.
Another.
Now to have the other Brandon Bohn in the booth, how many times have you ever been mistaken for each other thanks to the Brandon Bohn thing?
I have actually, and it's very complicated.
What? So his father's last name is Palmer, like it's a hyphenated Bohn Palmer, or is that a middle name? Or
his last name.
Good shot there from Sean.
I believe his parents got divorced. It's a long family tree line. Somehow down the line, he's related to me.
Okay.
And I believe he's like my second or third cousin.
Wow. All right.
So somewhere down the line, he's related to me, and it just happens in fact to be.
If we have anybody,
if
we have anybody watching from Ancestry.com and they want to trace the Bohn family tree, let's get that riddle solved.
Yep. So I'm sure somebody in my family knows what's going on and what's about it. So looking up on lane 8 here, Nathan DeMello on an infinite physics and solid 9.
Not enough push.
Good shot.
Good shot. Yeah. 9 is always good, especially when it only takes about even right now, I think, to make it.
Yep.
9 spare is never bad. Strikes will come. Good shot there from Joseph Dominguez again.
On lane 10, outside your camera range.
Looks like he's got it figured out as well.
So here's a question for you that a lot of people at bowl tournaments always kind of wonder is that here at Howell Lanes, how big of a difference are you getting coming down from that high end when you're on, 29 through 32, and then coming down the low end here? Some centers, there's usually a pretty big difference between one end of the house and another end of the house, or especially if they built, some houses they built in sections, like they started with 24 lanes and then they added 8 more and then added another bay and that kind of thing. Is it that different pair to pair throughout the center at Howell Lanes?
There are some pairs that are a little on the wonky side.
I would call them anomalies.
There's another word for them. It's not coming to my mind right now.
I know
but,
exactly one pair, which is an anomaly that I had to bowl on here 3 years ago.
And we're going to keep.
17 and 18.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a dent from Michael's fist going into the ground.
Are you serious? I was not talking about that.
I
was.
was.
Going to point out that 17 and 18 on lane 17, it hooks 3 more boards.
3 more boards, Michael. Wow.
That's how I had him playing.
Okay, well, 3 more boards on lane 17 than 18, and that's
anybody who wants to use that information they can.
Okay.
All right.
We won't talk about
That's how Michael Harmon Jr. had them.
the
play.
punch on the floor, but
that never happened.
we'll
I
get
did
back
not-
to the 7 and
I do
8
not
here.
remember that. Nathan up on lane 7.
What I have noticed from 7 to 8, the small things I notice, and I watch the racks a lot, right? And the rack on lane 7 on the left is a little tighter. On the right, it is a little bit more open in some cases. So have tendencies to leave a few shots like that from Nathan on lane 7. But
That was close. Almost a spare
the
there.
racks have been updated, I would say. The racks are fairly decent here. We have some pretty good mechanics. So
They take care of this stuff.
they do. They do. We have a few breakdowns here and there, but every center is going to have that. But
3-bagger on lane 9 now.
Yeah, after the shot by DeMello, I want to go back and show you the scoreboard now for Voorhees because I don't want to say the wheels are coming off. Came down, started with a strike, but shot in the 4th frame. Didn't even hit the head pin on the first ball.
yeah,
Could it be to the point where that ball is going to go quickly out of play for Voorhees? And what would you, Mr. Ball Rep, what would you suggest
yeah, Mike.
a
we're
player
gonna-
like him go through? Not to throw you on the spot there.
Yep.
I've watched the last couple shots, and what has happened is I think it doesn't really even need to make ball changes. Really a small adjustment that he needs to make. He went 2-pin, spare, 2-pin, spare, and then that one missed the head pin. All 3 shots he's missed right. What he needs to do is get a little bit more tilt on the ball to try and help it when it bites, to bite a little bit more sideways. He's rolling it a lot, which is never a bad thing. Rolling it is really good on these very difficult sport patterns. Being able to tumble the ball forward and roll it is very good, but he just needs a little bit more tilt to make that ball bite a little bit harder when it reads in the back lane.
You know, Michael, and also in other words, it looks like his ball's
And
burning
if
up
that
a
doesn't
little.
work, I have no idea.
Oh yeah, you know, it looks like it's burning up a little, and just needs a little bit more teeth down the lane. Maybe a little
it's
less in
burning
the
up
front.
because he's forward with it.
Yeah. So well, it looks like when he gets it right down the lane, it just wants to wiggle there. But
there looks like there is a sizable amount of surface on that ball, so you might have a ball that's a little bit cleaner that'll help it get further down lane and bite harder down lane. So,
but we got to also take into consideration here that he had 10 minutes of practice on his starting pair, and he also flipped sides of the center. So he was on the high end, now he's on the low.
well, let's
Low
just watch.
side,
Let's
so-
just watch this shot here.
We're gonna watch this shot
Lane 9.
coming up here on lane 9, the left side of your screen. At the same time, you're gonna watch another 2-hander. And 10 back.
A little bit
Micah?
more on the side of it. It's
Nope,
2-8.
still.
too far right down lane there. I did not think that was a bad shot. I think he rolled it correctly. I think that was just too far right down lane.
You know, and this could be a
And,
very telling game, Mike.
And a very good tell for if your ball is too far right down lane is on these surfaces there's 4 down lane tracers. The furthest one to the right, I believe that is on board 8. Am I correct? I think. I don't know. I think it's
Something like that.
yeah. If you are like 2 boards right of that down lane, it's too far right down lane. That's my.
I thought it was 10 and 15 on those boards down lane.
Or it might be 10.
Yeah, it's 10 and 15 on those.
sounds
Yeah,
right,
the
yes.
the inside border
You're
is at
further-
15 and the outside border is at
Yes.
10.
If you are further right of 8 down lane, you are too far right.
Well, gentlemen, I just want to let you know as I'm scanning the pairs here, there are not a lot of strings of strikes. Anyway, we got a bowler up on 31-32 is gone. 3-bagger, open 3-bagger. Or pardon me, 3-bagger, spare 3-bagger. Whoever, they would have started on, let's see, they would have started on They're on 31 and 32 now. They would have started on 25 and 6. It'd be Bowler D on 25 and 6 that started.
So as soon as the
Phil,
scores
do
update.
you throw the ball one-handed, Phil?
I'm old, yes. You know I throw the ball one-handed. I just threw my first
So-
shots in 2.5 years on the other side of the building before.
You know, all three of us in this booth, we throw the ball one-handed. And if we look out in front of us, I do not see a lot of one-handers.
No.
This game has changed, and it has changed drastically.
And it's changing quickly.
That is true.
It's changing quickly.
If I cared enough to come back, I'd try doing it two-handed. I'd have to lose about 30 pounds and start then, because my body shape not conducive to a two-hander without losing a little weight first.
The biggest tell to show that this game is completely changed is Walter Ray throwing the ball two-handed.
I watched him throw 300 in Minnesota in a PBA 50 event back in 2019. Threw it two-handed.
Micah's
good.
ball again.
Good
you
shot.
know, on lane 10. You know, as we're trying to focus here on lane 7 and 8, as you cannot get 7 and 8 anywhere. That is our live pair for the day, for the past few days here. But you know, taking a look at Micah over there on 9 and 10, and his ball is kind of black. You know, this could be a telling game for Micah if he doesn't move out of his ball.
Listen. He shot 250 the first game. He's really just got to go only minus 20 to minus 30 the next 4 games. And he's in.
We're going to go up to 32. I believe this is
3-bagger, spare 3-bagger.
Goodspeed, Justin Goodspeed. Started with 211.
Oh, and a
shot there.
4-bagger now.
I think the high end of the house does hook a little bit more too, so a little bit more friction.
So yeah, with that lane movement, that would be Goodspeed. Moved from 26 to 32.
Wow.
And a rip the rack 4-pin.
That was a tough lead there on lane 7. What did Nathan DeMello shoot the first game?
215.
Sounds about right. He's throwing the ball pretty good right now.
We do have a score update,
Keeping
Michael.
it clean.
So your leader on the block so far, I bet you couldn't take a guess who it is.
Push. Good spare.
Nice shot there on lane
Good
8.
spare there from Sean. Who is the leader after game 1?
I bet you couldn't guess it.
Micah Voorhees.
Micah Voorhees, 253. And this is in the U18 boys division. Second is Nathan at 215. Third, as we just saw down there on 31 and 2, is Justin Goodspeed at 211. And we have Jake Diaz at 204. Nick Fatoni at 204. Charlie Smith at 203. Joseph Enderly at 203. And rounding out 200 is Michael Martins at 200. Take a look at
there's some scores out there.
Take a look at the U18 girls standings, and not a lot of scores over here on the girls U18. Abby Starkey, 212.
She's a good player.
And that's the only 200 game on the U18 girls side so far after game 1.
There's only one girl plus, right?
There
That's
is
Sydney.
indeed 3 girls plus now.
Never mind.
So
Who are,
Not a
who
lot-
are the other two?
not a lot of scores on the U18.
Who's the other 2 girls that won plus?
Sierra Archangel at plus 15 and Abby Starkey at plus 12 after game 1. So looking
I'm
in,
saying girls that have posted scores.
yeah, so only 2 that have posted scores are plus at the moment.
Got it.
And I believe the top 16 in the U18 girls will make it to tomorrow. I'll find that out right now.
All right. What bad things can we say about Brandon since his headset's off? He's not as good as he thinks he is.
Yeah.
I wish you could actually say that about him because he's pretty
Throws
damn
it
good.
too hard.
Throws it too hard.
All right, what were you guys saying about
Too
me?
many revs. Just bad things. That's all.
Yeah. All right, so the top 16 in the U18 boys and girls will make it to tomorrow. And that number currently is minus 57
For the girls?
for the U18 girls.
Yeah, I guess minus 55 was where it was going to end up. That was my guess on
What did
after
you guess for
yesterday's
U18
qualifying.
boys?
plus 10. I think I may be a little low with the plus 10.
I said plus 23,
Yeah.
so I think I might be pretty close.
So
Especially if we see four
Yeah.
or 5 guys.
under 15 boys will probably be about 100 under, and they'll probably take about a 155, 158 or 160 average for the under 15 girls to get there.
Okay, and then we're going to take a look at the U15 boys. We have 38 overall entries in this year's event in the U15 boys. And the top 8 will make it to tomorrow. The top 8 currently is minus 34. And there are only 2 in the cut as of right now. 191 from Jonathan Durand and 177 from Ryan Happer.
Here's a question, because as tight as some of these scores are around the cut line, what happens if there's a tie for 16th or for the boys and girls, or 8th for the under 15 boys, or 4th for the under 15 girls?
I think it's a 1-game roll.
Yeah, I'm sure they got to do it. I'm sure they got to do it tonight. I'm sure they're going to want to do it tonight.
I think Mr. Parker Bohn would know the answer.
Yeah,
to
I
that
think
one.
he just went stage left, unfortunately.
So that's a question that we had answered a couple of years ago. We had a tie for the top 16, 16th and 17th, and it was based off the high last game.
High game of the block or high last game?
High game. But you know what? Rules have changed, and we're going to find that rule out.
Yeah, because it's kind of tough, because there's some players that bowled Thursday and are going to be in, and they might get shoved down to the numbers. So how do you give them, how do you give them a half hour to get here if they live an hour away?
All right. Well,
it's something tells me it can't be a roll off, but there's got to be some
16 games. 16 games.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna take a step out the
16
booth.
games, total pinfall.
Hey, whatever it takes. But I'm gonna take
All
a step out the booth, and I will find that question out here, and I will be right back.
Phil.
So, do you prefer Mike or Michael? The first day I've met you, and I haven't.
MJ.
I like MJ.
MJ, Mike, Michael.
Okay.
Those are the 3 names that get called by. I answer to all of them, and I do not have a preference.
All right.
And it's funny, like most people from back home, they'll call me MJ.
Yeah.
And I get that because Michael Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And then most people at my college call me Mike, and then most immediate family members call me Michael.
So if somebody doesn't know your background in bowling right now and they're watching on YouTube, give them a little background on your bowling or what you're still doing in the sport.
So as Brandon said, I am from Florida. I've bowled there for a very long time. We own a bowling center actually down in Florida, and just got into started working a lot at the bowling center, and that's after I started practicing a lot, and then I got into a lot of sports shot tournaments, and then I bowled my first junior gold in 2017 in the U15 division, made match play, finished tied for 9th. I actually lost to Justin.
Oh, okay.
And that was like my first eye-opening year. I bowled Team Masters a couple times. I made match play Team Masters 3 times now. I finished 2nd last year at Team Masters.
Okay.
Then for Junior Gold in 2018, I actually made the TV show in the U15 division. Finished 3rd on the TV show. 2019 in Detroit, I also made match play there again, and missed the TV show by a match. Unfortunately, lost in a 2-game total pinfall, tied. Lost in a roll-off. I got up there. I was the first one to go. I threw what I thought was a pretty good shot, went a little high, let the pocket 410. And then the other guy runaway Brooklyn on me.
Oh, because that's how it always happens. They really stick it to you.
But you know what? I could not be mad at him because it wasn't like he chose to do that.
Right.
It's just how the pins fall, man.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer, and at the end of the day, they will all even out.
Yeah.
All the breaks will even out. Whether that's you catching a bad break this month, catching a good break the next month, they even out eventually.
And I believe that one of the reasons why bowling will never be an Olympic sport is because you can get rewarded for an errant shot. It doesn't really happen much in golf. It doesn't happen with an errant pass in football. How about the paralyzed 5 on lane 9? Sorry, that's the first one I've seen of those all weekend long. But yeah, I think that's one of the reasons. I mean, there's other reasons obviously go with it. Obviously, the biggest one being how much money you're going to make for the International Olympic Committee. But you can get rewarded in bowling for a bad shot, and that has something I think to do with it as well.
All right, I'm back.
We got a tiebreaker.
I have my answer to that question. What happens if there is a tie for the top 16? It is tricky, Phil, to get somebody back here if they live 2.5 hours away. If they're tied for the top 16, it's obviously not possible for them to get back here in a 30-minute time frame.
Right.
So the rule is from the tournament director, Parker Bohn himself.
if there is a tie for 16th and 17th place, the 16th person will be making it to tomorrow based off high last game.
Okay, so game 5 really matters.
Game 5 matters.
And I will say one more thing that I do have on my resume
Okay.
is that in 2019, I actually was fortunate enough to be the champion in this event. U17 division.
Nice to have a former champion here.
I was
I'm a 2-time former champion of this event.
Brandon and Justin. I'd become closer friends with them, and they had convinced me that I needed to come up and bowl this event. So I made the trip, and fortunate enough, I was able to win. And then on my flight back home in 2019, there was a hurricane supposed to hit Florida. It was me, Dad, the Parker Bohn III check, and 2 other people on the flight to Florida. And nobody was going back to Florida because of the hurricane coming in. So I literally landed in, and we got home, and we started boarding up the house.
Yeah.
Fortunate enough, we didn't get much damage that year. So
Let's take a look. We'll go back over to 9 and 10 here. Let's go take a peek at Voorhees as the
making spares.
struggles real.
Spares. I wouldn't call that a struggle. I would not.
Okay.
You do not see any red numbers up there, so I would not call that a struggle. This is a difficult pattern in the way it breaks down. So you just got to be patient. You take your 250 games when you can get them. You take your 250 games when you can get them, and you grind out the rest of the block. And that's all he needs to do right now.
Yeah, he stays at 50 over. It's a sure thing. It's a sure end.
And then tomorrow is the day where you need to put doubles together. You need to make really good quality shots.
Got to go after him tomorrow. You know,
Yes.
I always like to say, there is a way of keeping it safe here in bowling and qualifying. You know, you're not out there looking for the 250 number, but you know, you're playing it safe around 190, 210, and you're not losing any, but you're really not gaining any, Phil. Just kind of going out there with the mentality.
Really good shot, comeback shot there from
just hit the pocket. You just want to hit the pocket and get 9, hit the one in the front, and you know, at the end of the day, just make your spare. So
we know what we haven't talked about yet. This is our last qualifying block before the match play portion tomorrow. The nerves that must be going on with maybe some of these kids, knowing that this is their last opportunity to make it to the top 16.
This is the round that, you know, you might see come down the wire here, come down game 5, where people might start pressing, people might start squeezing it.
And this is where the boys get separated from the men, is how I like to put it.
Oh, yeah, you know, you have that too. So
who is going to, you know, stay firm, stay focused, and make sure they get the job done?
And that's a good one. I haven't heard that one in a while, Michael. Where
What?
the boys are separated from the men.
Is that a good one?
While we're watching under 15 girls bowl on the pair next to us.
Yep. Yep. So basically what you're saying, Michael, is the boys will separate from the men, and the girls
women
will
will be separated
from the
yes,
women.
yes.
Yeah. You know?
The women will be separated from the girls. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah,
too.
the girls will be separated from the women, and the women will be separated from the girls, you know? Just how we drew it up.
I understand now.
Yep.
That might have been funny.
All right, as we have changed back to 7 and 8 here, Michael Voorhees
Actually, hold on.
the far. Oh,
let's
here we
get
go.
Voorhees.
To the 10th frame, and walking it out. Really likes it. Double.
I'm telling you guys, that is the play right there.
Good shot on lane 8 there too. You know what? I also think it is.
You know what he did? He didn't ball change. He didn't panic this game. He stayed true with it. And, you know, he's got a double here. He throws one more. He gets into the 200s.
What I think he did was, you know, we flipped to him, and boom, strike, and the 9th and 10th. So what does that have to say for us, Michael? And Phil, of course.
That when he went 6-3 and we were on top of him, that was my fault? I don't think so.
I don't know about that. All right, let's throw one more flip.
I think
over
that is
to
also
lane 10.
where experience comes into play. You know, he's an experienced
about
player, and he knows that if he just, you know, settles in, sticks in it,
That looks a little left.
doesn't make a dumb ball change.
And never hooked.
Yeah, that was a bad shot. He was super forward with that one, and it never gave it a chance to read down lane.
And another 210 there for Nathan on lane 8.
That's the difference. There was a complete difference in that leave and what Micah's did, because he's throwing Nathan's throwing a shinier ball. So what that ball wants to do is push really far down lane and then make the flip. And you could see it just didn't make the flip in time. And Micah's ball hooked in the mid lane and it just went straight.
Yep.
That was your difference you saw with those two Bohn balls because of surface. Micah's throwing the ball with surface, and Nathan's throwing a ball that's a little bit shinier.
So yeah, Micah finishes with 186. Still not a terrible game, Michael, especially after starting with 250. Nathan gets 1 on the 2-8-10. 149 in the 9th. Not where you want to be with 3 shots in the 10th. But Sean Buck here on lane 7, stepping up on a double, looking for a triple.
Very, very good shot right there.
He started with 192, so looking at the pacing here, he's going to catch right back up to Voorhees.
He's kept this game clean. With that split, he still kept the game clean with the split conversion in the 4th frame. And yeah, he's on a 3-bagger here. I mean, what does he go out for? 46, 76, 236. So it's a lot of number left out there. Here we go. Left-hander on lane 8.
3-pin.
So tomorrow on the Fresh, how many Avalon pads are you going to have sitting behind you just to make sure you got that right surface on the bowling ball with this? I mean, it's a pretty heavy volume pattern. It's 28.26 mils in the pattern. You can't just sit there and guess how the ball is going to react and hope you have the right surface out of the bag.
Here we see a purple hammer on lane 7.
Yep.
And that's a 3-bagger on lane 7 as well. Very good shot there. Like I said, the purple hammer has been my friend in this bowling center a couple times. I will say the year I did win, I did throw the purple hammer.
Oh, shocker there. Right, Michael? Shocker there.
Yeah, Kai Struthers used
that ball. That ball's made me a good amount of money, I think.
Me too.
Has it?
Me too, Michael. Scholarship money, of course.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah, Kai Struthers, it's all I saw him use so far on the left side, and
he's bowled pretty good, right?
He's in second place in the 15 and under boys. He shot plus 52, and he was consistent. His low game was 186. His high game was 236. The final game closed out squad 4 right in front of us on this pair and shot 236, and made it look pretty effortless as well.
Look at that. Misses
and back.
Misses a little bit left and gets that push.
And what you were saying, Michael, look at him and look at Micah from game 1. They're in the same part of the lane with the same ball. So there might be something to that area of the part of the lane with that ball there. So
good spare there on lane 7.
On the fill ball for 201.
It's a 201 game. That's very solid. Especially with the scores that we're seeing around us, 201 is a very solid game.
Indeed.
And we got some new arrivals here on 9 and 10 already.
Yep. Finishing up game 2 here, coming up game 3 of the final re-entry squad of this year's Parker Bohn III Scholarship Tournament. We're going to give you a listen to the sights and sounds of game 2, wrapping up here on 7 and 8. We're going to step out of the booth for a quick intermission break. Grab the popcorn, grab a drink, and come back and join us for games 3, 4, and 5 here. We will be back. All right, we're going to start this game, Michael. We're going to take a look over at 9 through 12 here as we're awaiting the arrival of 7 and 8. And, you know, the first thing we see, Michael, more lefties.
A double as well in the lane 10.
More lefties. Eric Lazarchuk here on lane 10. Off to a struggle this game. Open. But he's on the board with a spare. So
I'm trying to figure it out. It's spelled laser chick. What should be cool? I said I was talking with your brother last night. I said there should be two different pronunciations of the last name. Because if it's a boy in the family, then yeah, Lazarchuk. But for a girl, man, having a last name Laserchick, I mean, that's like, you can get like rifles going, air pistols going and stuff like that. Hey, it's Laserchick.
whatever.
I mean, it sounds like a superhero, and it's spelled that way. So I'm like going, yeah, I think they should have two different pronunciations of that last name.
We got Daniel Robinson on lane 9.
I was just gonna say that,
300
Michael.
bowler.
Great shot there on lane 9.
Playing the exact same part of the lane that Micah was, right there. But he has got a different ball in his hand, something that's actually, he's got a ball that's going to try and go further down lane and make a bigger move when it gets to the tracer.
Also looks a little bit shinier than what he was throwing. It looks like he's throwing a Wolverine Dark Moss.
Yep.
And as we have the arrivals on lane 7 and 8, we just missed a beautiful shot on lane 8 by Carter Strauss.
Interesting form for Mr. Strauss. I knew a guy back in the Milwaukee area had the same thing, threw the ball sliding with his right foot while being right-handed. And he actually had in pot games one night in a bowling center. He actually had 3 straight 300 games bowling off the wrong foot.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Won numerous local titles in the Milwaukee area, and then due to injury, actually had to switch back to bowling, learn how to bowl sliding on his left foot, and it took him about a year to feel comfortable after he started working on converting to being instead of goofy foot, a standard slide. That was his nickname for us. His name was Goofy Foot.
All right, as we are, all pairs now are starting in game 3 here. We should have a score update very quickly. The scores have been updating pretty quickly this weekend. It's one thing we've tried to work on throughout the year is getting the scores out to the people that are bowling and the fans watching from home. Visit the scores at parkerbowling3.com under the results tab.
3-bagger coming up on lane 9. You can see him on the right side of your screen there. And he gets it. That's 4.
Good shot on lane 9. That's a front 4 alert.
Have not seen a 4-bagger in a while. So.
And Michael, stepping up here on lane 7, what do we see?
Left-handed.
Another lefty.
Yeah, Jinx with the front 4. He's got 184, 194 in his first 2, so he's in the hunt.
Speaking of score update,
those two games are perfectly fine. It gives you a chance if you can pop a semi-big one towards the end. It gives you a really good chance.
That's a lot of height to get down throwing it two-handed.
Yep.
Right there for Mr. Patel.
Another two-handed lefty. So.
Yeah, rough day so far for Kieran Reeve Patel, 120, 145 coming into this game. So he's just using these last 3 for a learning experience and get ready for next year. Or next week. I'm sure there's probably another tournament somewhere in the area next weekend.
Do we have everybody in after 2?
No, not quite. They didn't put Dominguez in, and unfortunately his score's already cleared. But Dominguez only started at 138, so it's kind of unless he catches fire, it's a long way back.
Daniel Robinson now on lane 9.
On a triple.
He is getting it
back again.
He is getting it further right.
I'd like to see what he has this round. I saw him struggling earlier.
But do you notice that? He is getting it further right than a lot of other bowlers that I've seen, and he is getting it to come back from there. Good shot there from John. 10 straight back.
Yeah, leading the pace on the pair that we're watching here in 7 and 8. Yeah, all these players at least 67 under or worse at this point. So we'll pay a little more attention for a couple frames here. Let's get back to the front four.
First guy that I've seen really playing hard and straight with it. Hook a little.
And just got 6.
You know, whenever you need a 70-foot lane, it never really seems to show up.
But going back to what I said, I'm not seeing a lot of players trying to attack it hard and straight, and I'm guessing that's because it's not really there.
Or they're scared. Like they think they're going to lose carry if they change their angle. Not steep enough.
I've played pretty straight in the center, and it does not roll very bad. I will say that.
Yeah, I think some younger players, because when they're bowling at house conditions, they get used to the angular stuff. And if they got to play it straighter, I think their eyes get fooled a bit.
Kids want to see the ball hooked too.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just there comes a point in the time where if you are one of the only ones that is able to play the extreme right side of the lane and play it, tumble the ball, keep it in front of you, and play really straight, it can be very advantageous to you.
We have 4 boys to the plus right now, and leading that is Justin Goodspeed at plus 56. Voorhees is at plus 39.
The score update is not official for all that are looking so far. We have a special tournament-only link for Phil to look at, to look around. So the score update, if you have not seen it online yet, it has not come through our browser as fans or spectators. But for Phil, he's different. He plays a different role.
Yeah. Hey, I get the good stuff. Sean Buck plus 16 and Nicholas Platoni plus 2. That's your 4 players plus after 2. That's a little surprising at this point in the event, with at least one squad everybody has under their belt. And I'm looking at a lot of those names that are up there, and they've had 2 or 3 squads under their belt, and they're still can't get past the plus.
I just saw Daniel on lane 10. Missed left, and the ball did not get there. I thought that was interesting. I didn't think there was that much friction that far right, but like I said, if there's that much friction out there, you can certainly play to it.
Now let's take a look at the girls. You've got one girl plus with Kirsten Michelle, pardon me.
Good shot there on lane 8. Let's take a look back over on 7 and 8 here as John Tucker goes to shoot his 1-2-4 on lane 7, all the way from Rhode Island. That's another long drive as well. And
so we have 5 players in the building out of 52 that are plus after 2 games. That's surprising. 4 boys in the under 18, and then in the under 15 boys, Durand is even.
Wow.
After 2.
And that is surprising, Bill. You know, you look around and all of these bowlers on this squad are re-entries. So no one on this squad has not seen this pattern at least once. And some people have bowled all 5 squads. Squad number 6 on the weekend, and not many of them have bowled all 5. But there is, I believe I can count, there is 1 or 2 that have bowled all 5 squads and in this squad as well. So
it's got to be to the point. I mean, even if you're really physically fit, getting 30 games under your belt in 3 days can be a little physically and mentally taxing on you by the time you get into this re-entry event.
For sure.
So.
Sneaks by, and I've also noticed, when you look around, there's a lot of 9 misses.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that could be affecting the scoring paces. Spare shooting. Nice messenger there on lane 9 from Daniel. I'm sure he had a few of those during his 300 game earlier in the day.
That was also just, a little bit, I mean, not a miss, but it was a little bit left to target, and the ball did not read as hardly, and that's why it was a little bit further behind the head pin. There.
It's so easy to run into the situation.
It is a lot easier to see things like that when you are, back here watching than it is when you're bowling. Because, you know, I struggle with it sometimes. If you're more of an emotional bowler, emotional player, then you kind of like miss those analytical small details that you could see that, you know, could change your thought process whether you ball change or not. You know what I mean?
There on lane 9.
Yeah, Jinx right now, though, I mean, you go front 4, and then you've gone now 6, 7, 8. And it's going to need some help. And then the full whiff, yikes.
All right, the score update is in on ParkerBone3.com. I keep thinking PBA.com for some reason. You know.
That's because I'm here.
Yeah, you know. But our leader, as we just said, Justin Goodspeed at plus 56. He's over there on lane 11 and 12.
Great shot there on lane 8 there. That
so
was
when we go back to 11
good.
and 12, we will see him. But right now, here we go. He just stepped up on lane 12, looking at a big 4 in the 9th frame here. But off to a great start, plus 56. And second on the squad is Michael Voorhees at plus 39. And the third on the squad is the cut number right now at plus 16.
I think Mike is on a 3-bagger down there.
So the cut has gone up a little bit. And
That could be on, what, 21 through 20?
Lane
Who's that?
16, I think, is
16.
what Mike is on. I think
Mike,
he's
yeah.
on a 4-bagger.
Let's take
I
a
don't know
peek
if
here.
you can look and
Let's
find
wait for
that.
I'm feeling a big 4 conversion here, so I'm going to wait to switch it over. Voorhees not up yet, so let's get a lucky bounce.
you have 2 chances, Phil.
Yeah. Let's just get one lucky bounce. That's all we ask for. There's a fire. And no lucky bounce. All right.
All right, we're going to take a look over to the U15 boys real quick. There is, like
Is
we just said,
Voorhees,
Jonathan Durand.
I think Voorhees is letter C.
Michael, that has nothing to do with the U15 boys. It's Michael Voorhees on lane 16. So anyway, as I was saying, the U15 boys, Jonathan Durand is even in 4th place overall. And I believe we are cutting to the top 8. I know we're cutting to the top 8 in the U15 boys. So 8th place right now is Braden Cassidy at minus 34. In the U18 girls, they are not. Oh, we do have the score update.
I just saw Purple Hammer go down the lane, and that's a 4-bagger.
Again, Michael, no relation to the scores or anything, but Purple Hammer going down the lane.
I'm letting you get the scores, and I'm telling the viewers what's going on around me,
All right, well,
okay? So
Michael,
you can stay in your lane there, pal.
I'm
Chill
in my
out.
lane right now. And we're going to take a look at the U18 girls division.
Before that, Michael Voorhees on a 4-bagger now.
Just threw another great shot, 10 back.
Can we get the scores, please?
I'm getting there. You're interrupting me, Michael.
Phil,
Anyway,
we got to replace this guy.
Hey, does this, and I know in league it's you put your hand up and then with the 5, if it's just a 5 pin. For a 1-5, do you do like a single finger and a 5 and then
Or
it's 2 drinks?
two
If they
high
miss them
fives.
both?
Or
2 high
two high
fives?
fives.
Okay. So,
all right, we're gonna have our a pause real quick in the action while our hands are up, and we're gonna see if Bryce Kine can convert this 1-5. And survey says 8 spare. So anyway, getting back to what I was saying earlier, the U18 girls, your leader is Kirsten Mickle at plus 21 after 2.
Which is a good score.
In 2nd place is Abby Starkey at minus 21. 3rd place is Amanda Morris at minus 61, and there is no one else in the number, in the top 16 number.
What is 16th place right now?
Minus 76.
That is a nail biter.
So, and then we will take a quick glimpse at the U15
Great shot there from
girls.
Eric Lazarchich. I believe he's
And
throwing a Paragon.
the leader in the U15 girls is Abby Turney at minus 68, then Ava Mazzella at minus 77, and Abby Montgomery at minus 116 after 2, all on this squad currently.
yeah, there's Montgomery throwing it on.
Good shot.
Lane 15.
Wrap 10. She's got 107 in the 8th, so make the spare here, find a double, get into 150. And what did you say she's at after 2 games? Or
I believe 116 under.
so she's going to need lightning in a bottle. But who's to say it can't happen? Not me. Anything can happen, I believe.
All right.
Everybody that comes here, is here for a reason.
Hey, there's a 5-bagger over on 13. Bullard A.
That was the kid that finished with 201 on our feature pair here, throwing a purple hammer.
Oh, is that the Purple Hammer kid? You're just.
No. The other guy that was throwing a purple hammer finished with 196 on lane 11. But the guy with the 5-bagger, he was swinging it just a hair. And, you know, the purple hammer in your hands, you just make shots with that thing, and it's going to either strike or get 9.
Does the ball
a lot of the time.
Does the work for you.
It does. It does that a lot of the time.
Nice messenger on lane 16 there from Joseph Dominguez.
And I think we have Micah Voorhees coming up on lane 16.
All right, we're going to take one more look at Micah Voorhees on a 4-bagger, and then we're going to
take it back to 7 and 8.
Yep. And as we stated before, you can watch any lane in the house besides 7 and 8 on the Parker Bohn III Scholarship Tournament YouTube page. Find your favorite bowler and track them while they bowl. This 4 p.m. re-entry only squad. Micah Voorhees, 10 back again.
Gets it to read up. Gets it to read. And if we actually cut it here to 9 and 10, Daniel Robinson has a chance to strike out here in the 10th frame for 269.
There's the first one.
He has got this. I think he has got this pattern figured out.
He's got this pattern figured out, but it looks like the first 2 games he was on the struggle train. It looks like he had a hit or miss kind of.
I know his first 2 games were iffy. Iffy in his first block as well.
He has 168, 176, so he's 56 under, looking to try to get back to even or in the positive a little. So
I definitely think he came out here to learn things, though, because he was in the number.
He also did that the first block.
Yeah,
I remember
he had 140 the second game, I think, or 160. Something around there.
Robinson gets the 5 to go down last on that light hit. Little chuckle from everybody out of it.
But here's the thing that's interesting. This is with 4 people on a pair breaking the lane down in game 3. Tomorrow you're going to have 2 people on a pair. So if you get to game 3 tomorrow, it's not going to be the same amount of breakdown as it is today, because there's only going to be 2 people on a lane. So he's going to have to figure out a way to figure out the fresh.
I believe, Michael, not to correct you or anything, I believe it will be 4 to start. And then later in the rounds, you know, when the field condenses, it will go down to 2 after some type of re-oil, possibly. I know in the past we've had some type of re-oil, but
I know in the past it's been three matches has been a re-oil, and then it stays that way for the rest. And 1 re-oil.
Yep.
I believe.
I believe it's Yep. So you take a break if you win 2 matches. So the 3rd round is a losers only round. And then I believe there's a small break, and then round 4 will start.
Voorhees 10-pin covers it up, so he had a nice run going into the 10th.
Going to get 220 this game.
No, and one thing back on our 9 and 10, we were talking about Robertson, the nice finish he had to get to 269. How about Matthew Jenks? 4-bagger starts, and wheels come off for 4 frames, and he punches out in the 9th and 10th, and still gets back to 220, even with a couple of opens. So that could be a tournament saver for him.
Got a chance here?
Yeah, Jinx, he was. Yeah, he was. He's at -2 right now after that 220 game.
Which
194, 194, 220.
That is definitely in there right now.
Yeah, 2 more 220s, and he could find himself into tomorrow.
So you say he's -2. You said
-2.
I think he only needs about 215, 215.
Okay.
Like 2 team games. Because the cut coming into this one was right at even, right?
Just a couple of pins either side of even. I forgot which way.
Yes.
With the multiple entries.
But you got to think there's going to have to be 4 people that beat 20 over for him to be out if he only goes 20 over. And as we've gone through this field, there's not that many getting it done at the moment.
Brandon, you're looking out, see anything good going on down that way?
I do not. A couple of people already starting game 4 here.
All right.
I'm scoping around. It looks like 7 and 8 has been the slower pair so far. We'll take a look to our right. 9 and 10 is already done. 11 and 12 starting game 4 already.
Bryce Klein here on lane 8.
And finishing up game 4, or game 3, excuse me.
Very good shot.
And then on 7 and 8, we're just entering the 8th frame here. So a little bit slower pace on 7 and 8 here, but coming up next will be game 4. And we will be joining, we're going to have a special guest come game 4, Michael. We're going to
Joining us?
We're going to let Phil take a little intermission break. He's been
hard at work all weekend long.
He's been the sight and the sound of the weekend so far. So we're going to give Phil game 4 off.
Good shot there from Carter. I mean, he's got a 3-bagger. That's the strike of the game. He's got something going.
So we're going to give Phil game 4 off, and we're going to find someone that will replace Phil. But there's nobody that replaces Phil over here behind lane 7 and 8 here at Howell Lanes. Phil is he's running the show here this weekend. So we can't thank Phil for all he's done this weekend. And coming out
I'm just excited for tomorrow, man.
From the Midwest, yeah, to be here. So
I am excited for tomorrow. I am excited to see some matches. I want to see some close matches, and I want to see some boys become men tomorrow.
Yeah, you know,
and some girls become women.
Like what he just said. So we're gonna take a step out, Mike, and we'll be back with game 4. We're gonna let the viewers watch the end of game 3 here on 7 and 8, and we're gonna be back with a special guest of some sort. No name yet is gonna be disclosed, but when we come back at the start of game 4 here on 7 and 8, we will have a special guest joining us.
right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, we're back a little earlier than expected, to be honest.
We have one of our two mystery guests. I'm going to introduce him. The man, the myth, the legend. One of the most intricate brains behind this entire tournament, this operation, makes it happen. We have Mr. Parker Bohn III. How are you
name
doing,
on
sir?
the screen right now.
How are you guys?
We're doing good. We're enjoying ourselves in this booth, giving Phil a little bit of time off as he's been doing some great work this weekend. How are you doing? How's the tournament running? And who do you think's got a real good chance of winning this year?
Well, the tournament could not run any better than it is currently. When I watch everything that's going on between the bowlers themselves, keeping up with a good pace, between everything being on time, the lanes maintaining themselves. Obviously, you got a hiccup here and there where you got to set something up because the pin moves offset. But everything could not run any smoother, and I'm going to knock on wood, my head here, than it currently is. Now, I know the players would like to see scores a little bit better. I actually thought the scores might be a tiny bit higher than what they are. But that being said, I'll tell you right now, you watch the players that are out there bowling. If you make good shots, a reasonable good shot, you're probably going to get rewarded for it because it's not a giant trick.
Right, like that great shot there on lane 11 from Cole Ober, stepping up, and they're already in the 6th and 7th frame on 11 and 12, and we're just starting over here on 7 and 8.
You gotta be in the right part of the lane as well. Making great shots is a big part of it, but if you're not in the right ball, the right part of the lane, then you really are at a great disadvantage, especially on this pattern, which is pretty playable, so you can find it if you are, like I said, in the right part of the lane. Mr. Parker Bohn, you are the PBA 50 Player of the Year. How does that feel? How does that feel?
I guess maybe that feels like I'm getting a little on the older side. It's really rewarding to know that you go out there and you work at your game and you try to make your game a little bit better and a little bit better, but you need some good things to happen to you along the way. And I'll say it bluntly, lady luck never hurts anybody when you sit there and look at that. And a lot of things fell, I'll say, in my lap or in Parker Bohn good fortune at that point. When I look at it, you don't plan for Player of the Year in 1 week or one tournament. You try to go out there and do the best you can in each and every event. And as things unfolded at the end, fortunately, it wasn't necessarily a PBA title at that point, but it's something that means so much more than just a PBA title, because only one player is going to get PBA 50 Player of the Year at the end of the season.
And I will say, not only did you had to make all that effort, a lot of sacrifice is involved in that some people don't understand. Being away from home for that long, and staying out on the road. I had the pleasure to be able to watch you at a couple of those events, and my goodness, you were throwing the ball great. You looked very determined, and you were just getting it done. And it was a pleasure to watch you. And
well, thank you.
I'm enthused and very proud of you, and very happy that you got that award. I felt that was very deserved, and it was awesome to see you do it, especially as you were one of my idols as I grew up and I watched more of the game and decided I wanted to take it to the next level. I watched you a lot, especially when I was younger, so it was awesome to see you get that job done.
Well, I appreciate it very much. You kids, when I say you kids, it starts out with Brandon, Justin, and Sydney, but they're friends, and you're an immediate friend and close friend of all of ours. You kids drive me to compete better. It's not exactly, I don't look in the mirror and go, where's this Parker guy that was 23 or 24 when he first started to bowl out on the PBA Tour?
I mean, your knee bend might look in the mirror and ask that question, but
I don't understand what you just said.
What I'm saying is, Michael, his knee bend has,
it's been the same throughout. It's timeless. That's what I see.
Yeah, when you watch him, like
I've seen him fall off a couple shots more than he used to.
Yeah, I don't.
But you know what?
In his prime, he never fell off it. But I saw a few shots recently.
They still struck.
That is true. That is true. But
It's funny you guys are sitting there saying that, and when I fall off of a shot that I'm not very happy with, I will guarantee you I've heard it 9 out of 10 times that most people say, you falling off of a shot literally is on balance compared to my personal shot.
You know, Michael, I will say this real quick before we get to another topic. His worst day of knee bend is better than everybody's best day of knee bend.
I can say that is very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
So, all right, well, on a different note, we're going to talk about a little bowling here.
Yeah, ask him, like, what do you think about best way to attack this? I know we had Double J design this pattern for this year.
Yes.
42 feet, 3.5 to 1. What are you seeing is the best way to attack it out here?
Well, the best place to play the lane is somewhere between that second and third arrow. You know, when I say that, I'm going to go with you have a little bit of ball or a little bit of hook in your hand. Players that are a little bit straighter, they may go a little bit straighter, somewhere up 8, 9, 10. But down the lane, somewhere around that 10th board is going to be their optimum place to be. As we've seen most players, when the ball gets outside of 5 or 6, it has a big tendency to hang out there or stay out there.
I will say this. Coming up on lane 8, we have Abigail Starkey, a very good young player. She is the first person. I don't know. I think she just moved her feet left. But first shot I saw her throw in this lane was very far right. Oh, yep, she's still that far right.
Mm-hmm.
Not her best shot there, but she is the first person that I've seen is playing, right of 5. And I haven't seen anybody doing that, so I didn't know if it was anything there.
And also on her pair, Michael, is the current leader on the squad, Kirsten Mickle. After game 2, we have first and second on the U18 girls side on our featured pair this game, 7 and 8. And they're playing, it looks like, very, very not similar, so very different.
Well, when we look at Abigail Starkey, let's face it, at the end of the day,
Spare.
it was a great spare. She obviously looks like a shot maker. Okay, her angles are shut down. If your angles are shut down, you can all of a sudden play certain parts of the lane that the average person can't play. And a prime example of that, and I've watched it for decades out on the PBA Tour, is Walter A. Williams Jr. His angles are shut down more than likely most of the time, except mainly when he starts to go two-handed. That's when he starts to open up the lane and starts to throw it to the right. But if you look at how many times Walter A. has been able to play outside of 5 that no other human being can even get close to that, it's because his angle is dead shut down, or more than likely, he's going from right to left. And most bowlers cannot do that.
The big scores that we've started to see here have come from two-handers. Good shot there. I've come from two-handers that are really far deep and are able to open it up a little bit more. And with tomorrow, we're not going to see as much transition, I don't believe.
Correct.
So I think it's going to be advantageous to people playing the lane a little bit straighter like Abigail is, keeping her angles in front of her and just, making good shots.
Yeah, well, let's talk about tomorrow just a little bit. You are exactly correct there. The first thing that we have to remember right now is the players themselves, boys and girls, are bowling the field. The field dictates where you should need to play after so many games. So when we look at that, the field breaks the lanes down a little bit deeper. A lot of two-handers, a lot of the guys obviously are going to have a higher rev rate. So they may get in there at 15 or even potentially 20 at some point.
I've seen Daniel Robinson and Micah Voorhees, who are both on this block. I have seen them that far left, and they're really taking advantage of the bump and taking advantage of the bump in the track. And if they get into that track, they know it's going to stand up, and if they get a little bit further left of it, they know it'll shim up a little bit because there's that built-in oil, that built-in push in the middle of the lane.
Correct. So starting tomorrow, the boys, the U18, are all going to be together. They're not going to have any of the ladies crossing paths. They're not going to have the young bowlers, the U15 boys or girls, breaking the lane down. So they're going to break the lane down the way that their rev rate will allow them to break the lane down.
And I feel like tomorrow you're going to have a lot of guys that are going to be in the same part of the lane where they're not going to be everywhere scattered out, looking for a score.
looking for ball reaction.
But like you see right now, people are struggling to find ball motion, right? The scores are not very high. As we look at the score update after 3 games, your current leader is Michael Voorhees at plus 63 with the big 250 game the first game. So he really hasn't bowled a whole lot the last 2 games.
That last game, he
having a
shot
sneak peek.
230, right?
We've had a sneak peek at him the last 2 games, bowl 180 the second game and finished game 3 with 224. And second on the squad is Sean Buck at plus 51. And third on the squad right now, currently overall in 16th place, is Xavier Newell at plus 21. And then Jake Diaz outside the number at plus 20. And then Michael Martins at plus 18. Justin Goodspeed at plus 17.
Did you say plus 20 was outside the number?
Correct.
Jake Diaz is plus 20, and Jake Diaz happens to be right here on 9 and 10. And currently he's bowling 215 clean through the first 7 frames this game.
So we can actually take a look at him.
You're 100% certain that there's no duplicates in that top 16?
There are a few duplicates. Ian Harmon is one duplicate. I believe Michael Martins, who is outside the number right now, is a duplicate that is bowling right now, bowling fairly well as well.
Yeah, well, all the duplicates will fall down to 17th, 18th, 19th, and they will still cash in the event, at least on the U18 side, U18 boys.
Times.
So
you can cash multiple times.
Did not realize that.
But the key is
it's going to fall down to 17.
It's going to fall down. You only have one opportunity in that round of 16.
To the first.
So there is only one duplicate in the top 16 as of right now. Great shot there by Jake Diaz in lane 10. So the current cut number for the U18 boys division is plus 20. And then as we take a look at the U18 girls, let's see, bowling this squad, Kirsten Mickle, as we are watching over here on 7 and 8, is your current leader on the squad at plus 1. And then also on 7 and 8, minus 20 is Abby Starkey. And your current cutoff for 16th. And there's only two girls in the cut right now that are bowling. And taking re-entries into consideration, your 16th spot at the moment would be Alexander.
It's a lot of math for him.
Alexandra
I told
Sardis.
Phil we need a new number guy.
At minus 100.
I
was going down, I was calculating while I was looking through.
While we have the Hall of Famer still in the booth, I know you got to go. You're a busy man. Make sure this tournament runs smoothly. That's your job. While we have you in the booth, I want you to just give us a couple words on what this event means to you, because I know you are, you've been a great influence on me as I've seen you at some of these tournaments. You've always been very helpful, very kind, and I know you work to do that with every individual that you see.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to, just tell us the joy that it gives you to be able to run this tournament and crown champions at the end of it.
Well, Michael, I compete in tournaments all season long, all around the world. And obviously every time I put my shoes on and get my ball in my hand, I want to go out there and win just as bad as anybody else. But this is the one time out of the year that my bowling hat, so to speak, is off. My bowling shoes with all of my equipment are at home in my garage. And I put the tournament director hat on. And I want to give each and every one of these youth bowlers the same dedication and ability to go out there and bowl an event and get treated exactly like I want to be treated, or I'll say it bluntly, the way that we're treated as PBA players out on the PBA tour. So they're on a level of their own right now. They have the chance to go out there and knock over as many pins as they can. And there's not many more things that are more rewarding than watching a champion crowned at the end of the event, knowing that the event is 4 or 5 days long sometimes, and knowing how hard each one of these individuals has worked at their craft to become as good as they can.
Well, Mr. Parker Bohn, we thank you for joining us in the booth, and you are definitely an awesome individual. You 100%, just like you say, you put your best job forth here to make sure all these individual athletes get the best experience possible at this tournament. and we thank you for that. So,
Well, you're welcome, guys. I appreciate it, but you need to know, and I'm going to say this before I leave. Leslie, my wife, Michael, somebody that you know really good, she makes me look really, really good. All I have to do is get on the microphone for 5 minutes.
yeah, me and Brandon, we actually talked to your wife. She is on her way into this booth.
Yeah, speaking of, I shouldn't say Leslie, but I'll say my mom.
That'd be better.
She's going to
Miss
take
Bohn.
Dad's spot.
Yes.
Say. So she's actually going to come in and talk with us for a while, and we're gonna get her inside scoop here on the Parker Bohn III scholarship tourney.
Like you said,
Well,
Parker, she makes you look really good.
Edition.
Yes, she does. She does all the legwork behind the scenes. Now, I will say this, and Brandon will back me up. Justin has done a fair amount this year on the computer and setting some things up, social media-wise for sure. But for everybody to understand at home or if you're listening in, Leslie does 98% of this to make sure that it's all the way that it should be. And you look at the banners, you look at our sponsors that we have out there, the money and funds that we've raised. We are probably going to put in somewhere in the neighborhood of $8,000 to $10,000 in additional money into the prize fund over and above the 230 or 40 entries. I don't know what that exact number is. We're going to calculate all of that and come up with those numbers for all of these young athletes to go out there and compete for tomorrow.
Which is 100% awesome. All right.
And unbelievable when you think about all the money that has been accumulated over the years and all the sponsorships. And for everybody that has a banner out there, we thank you so much for your support on this year's Parker Bohn III Junior Scholarship Tournament. Well, Dad, as I call him, we thank you for your time. We know you're a busy man this weekend. I want to say thank you for coming into the booth. But we have someone as equally
All right,
special.
guys. Take care. Thanks again.
Yes.
Coming into the booth right now, Michael, who plays the complete other role as known as my father.
She is the woman behind the curtain.
He's the tournament director, but like you just said,
She is the one behind the curtain.
Behind the curtain.
She gets it done. And yes, we are joined by Miss Leslie Bohn. How are you doing today, Leslie?
I'm good. Hi, guys.
How are you, Mom?
I am doing great.
Well, that is awesome.
Yes.
So right here is our featured pair, 7 and 8. We are watching Abby Starkey, Kirsten Mickle, the top two girls right now bowling on the squad and currently in the number for the U18 girls division.
And if we peer just to the right on lane 10, Jake Diaz puts a double together in the 10th frame to shoot. He's going to shoot 215 this game. So he is definitely making his case to get into the top 16 here in this last squad.
Oh.
Almost
with the messenger.
Yes, and I want to give you an opportunity, Miss Leslie, to talk about your Bohn's Elite Training Center, your baby,
My dream
right
come
to the
true.
left of the wall on lane 7. Your baby.
It
Just
is.
just tell the viewers a little bit about it. Can you do that for us?
I can. Have we called in lane 9 though? We're missing a 5-pin on lane 9. We need to reset
I think
lane 9.
the staff is right there.
Okay,
so
good.
They're getting it done.
So Bohn's Elite Training is an amazing facility that has been created. It was certainly a dream come true. A few years ago, we had the opportunity to travel over to Malaysia. And we saw so many kids who are part of different schools and academies for bowling who really worked on their games and developed into players. And I thought, what an amazing concept that would be to bring back here to the United States. They wore these T-shirts around. They had these mottos on the back of them talking about spares and strikes and my kid strikes more, my kid spares more. And I thought we really need to do something like this in the United States. And, we're fortunate enough to have facilities like Kegel down in Florida and the ITRC in Texas, which are amazing. But we did not have anything out here on the East Coast. So Tom,
the Northeast Coast.
The Northeast Coast, yes, let's be corrected.
There was something on the East Coast.
Well, Weber is kind of, or Kegel.
Weber Training Center, Mom.
Kegel is kind of like on the East Coast.
It is.
It's not super far away.
Yeah, so this is the Northeast Coast.
Coast.
Yes.
Yeah, so the Russo family approached our family and said, I have something that I'd like to present to you, and we'd love your opinion, and we'd love to partner with you. So we spoke with them about creating a training center and a facility where...
Nice messenger on lane
Nice
7.
shot.
Not to interrupt, but that was a great shot there from Charles.
That was a great shot. Brandon,
Yes,
And
I see a few of those in my future.
yeah, I don't know what dream you're,
I
you're
will
talking about right now.
I will
but,
correct myself. Jake Diaz actually shot 223. So
223. Nice
which-
game, Jake.
I remember he was pretty high up there after the first 3. So he's definitely making his case. Back to what you were
All right,
saying.
anyway, yep,
Back
yep.
to what you were saying.
So this wall that we see went up in about January time frame, and our vision started to come together. We spoke with the people at Brunswick, and we designed this facility. It's a 5-lane facility with 4 machines that allowed us the ability to shoot spares and practice spares, since we know that spares are what wins tournaments.
And you know, speaking of spares right now, we're going to take a look at the current leader in the U18 girls division on the squad. Kirsten Minkle right here in front of us does not have a singular strike this game.
Oh my goodness.
She has a lot of 9 spares. And in the middle of that 9 spares train, she has a 6-1. But we're not going to talk about that 6-1. We're going to talk about that she is 10 frames in.
I believe this is what we call a grind,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. And
And
there is nothing wrong
Another
with
One more 9.
There is nothing wrong with getting 9 and making a spare.
nothing at all. But, you know, that's the game you see around, not very often, but, you know, you see the struggle, the open, the not many strikes in a game, or no strikes in the game. But that's what we've seen this weekend, and it's hard to put strikes together unless your name is Daniel Robertson or Andrew Blaney, and then you just run away with everything when you have it. So as you saw earlier, Daniel Robertson 300, and just last game he bowled 269. So
Wow. So that is a really good game here by, you said Kristen, right?
Kirsten.
Kirsten. I knew I had it incorrect, but Kirsten, excellent game, filling all of her frames. I'm going to say she uses a spare ball.
I would say so, and she doesn't really need a whole lot. She's even after 3, I believe. So it just, you know, another solid game here, and she'll be bowling tomorrow.
That's right.
So
So the training center. So the really cool thing is we started in January putting our dream together. We had an amazing team here at Howell Lanes with Neil Feingold and Charles Anderson. They believed in us and our vision. So here we are. 8 months later, we have a facility where you can come, you can rent the lanes, you can practice your spares with My Shot by Brunswick. The sync scoring system allows you to do that, and the new machines. So Michael, what we did is we put in 5 brand new machines. We did not touch the lane beds or the approaches, just new machines.
I have been lucky enough. I have thrown a couple of bowling balls over there.
Couple, yeah.
Yes, I have. I've used it a little bit the last couple of days, shooting at the 3-6-10, which is my least favorite split to shoot at. It is a split.
I
They
love
just
it how
forgot-
he calls
They just
it
forgot
the
to
least
make it
favorite
red.
split.
The scoring monitors forget to make it a red 7, but I 100% telling you it is red.
It's red.
It is red.
The least
I don't
favorite
like that.
split.
I would rather shoot at a 3-6-9-10 than a 3-6-10.
Really?
And
Wow.
a lot of people call me crazy for that.
Yeah.
A lot of people call me crazy, but for some reason, the 3-6-9-10, I pick up a lot more than the 3-6-10.
Wow.
I'm thinking if you're leaving the 3, 6, 9, 10, we're going to hear 6.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
we're going to hear Jay
yeah.
Blair's voice. So,
Yep.
So you can do lots of things in Bohn's Lead Training and Rev Rates. You can have a birthday party, you can have a bachelor party, you can have a class reunion.
so anyway, Michael, when it's not used as a training center,
Yes.
it's used as Rev Rates VIP Entertainment.
Entertainment.
So, also known as Rev Rates University for people who are trying to learn and get better at any type of craft.
Yes.
So, like
Yes.
me, I learned a lot from Rev Rates University. I learned how to put a wall
Win
up.
junior gold.
That's also in the training center side of things. But
I'm just saying, there must have been something going on at Bohn's Lead Training to make it to where everybody in that group bowled very well this summer.
you know,
So,
I think
I
there's
don't
something
know.
to it, Michael.
I think there's going to be an ESPN 30 for 30 maybe done on it. I think that might be in the future.
What is the motto, Brandon?
I'm just saying,
What's the motto of Bohn's Elite Training?
you train here and you win there, and that statement came true this year.
So
I guess I'm making the trip up to New Jersey more often than I don't know.
I would say so. And for anybody that doesn't believe that training works, I think you're wrong.
Yes, I agree with
And,
that.
I would just like to recognize, though, how many of our athletes, we certainly had kids who were winning, and winning isn't always defined by holding the trophy, the last person to hold the trophy. So kids winning can be making their first cut at junior gold. Kids winning can be making their first match play appearance at junior gold. Kids winning can be, I was in the top 50%, and this year I was in the top 40%. So we certainly don't want to base our accomplishments, achievements, and winning solely on holding the first place trophy.
There is a lot more goals that are, achieved.
Have been achieved. So
that have been achieved. I would
we are
like to say that.
fortunate enough to host a junior gold league where about 20 or 24 kids dedicated themselves to a 16-week program to bowl on patterns, learn how to shoot their spares, listen to some of the incredible coaches that we have amongst us here at Howell Lanes and around the area. And we saw great improvements as a group overall. So,
And you also did some awesome clinics over the summer, bringing in some touring players and coaches around the country, which was pretty cool.
yeah, this game has been really, really incredible to our family, and it fills my heart to see ourselves in a position to get back to an industry that has been so good to us.
And with you saying that, I want to switch up the conversation a little bit away from Bohn's lead training and rev rates. You, as Parker has mentioned before you walked in this booth, and as me and Brandon have mentioned, you have an intricate role in making this tournament possible. You put a lot of hours, a lot of time into making it possible. So could you just enlighten us and the viewers as to your why, as why you give so much time for all these amazing kids?
So when I was a youth bowler, a little bit younger than the two of you sitting next to me, I had parents who supported my dream of being the best that I could be as a bowler. And they supported me in ways of allowing me to practice when I needed to, stay out late when I needed to practice, travel to tournaments, to events that I wanted to go to. And when I got into a position to try to provide something similar to that to bowlers such as yourselves, I embraced that. And Parker basically said, here's an event, I want to give back to this sport, and what can we do? And each and every year, we add a little bit more to this. And I will tell you that Leanne Barrett Holstenberg and Gary and Blair from SYC have set a bar incredibly high, and I will tell you, they drive me to be better and better every year.
Awesome.
And as we might not see it down here on the low end of the center, but the Storm Youth Championships is a sponsor of our event. And down there on lanes 27 and 8, you will see a Storm Youth Championships banner. And let us just say that this tournament, it may be sponsored by Brunswick, but it is a bowling tournament on the Northeast, and it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what you offer. Anybody can be a sponsor, and we're very
Appreciative. I think that's
That's
the right
word
word.
I was looking for, Michael. I just,
To all our sponsors.
right.
All of our sponsors.
And we couldn't be here without them.
They are the ones that make this happen. So
It is.
Well, there's an important group. So you're giving me a lot of credit, Michael, and I thank you. And I can tell you, and Brandon can reassure this, that I'm a detail person, and there are a lot of little details that become very important to me, because at the end of the day, we don't always know what makes an event so special, but it certainly is all the details that come together. So every little piece of this tournament is what makes it one of the events to attend.
And it's the little things, Michael. It's the little things, like if you look around at the banners for our viewers to see, if you look very deep closely, all of the banners, they match. The backgrounds of the banners, they match. Over the past few years, we've tried adding banners to the tournament to show off the sponsors that help us make this tournament an event. And over the past few years, we've added merchandise, sweatshirts, T-shirts.
I just want to say something. I remember this 20th anniversary tournament.
I already know what you're going to say,
I remember
Michael.
something that was here that unfortunately is not here today.
And it was,
that
we talked
we
about
might
this
need to
earlier.
bring back for next year.
We
Maybe
might.
even bring it back for just tomorrow.
The 24th.
In 2 years, it will be the 25th, so you know it's going to be bigger and better.
And I think we should there should be multiples of these. There should be a dunking tank for Parker Bohn III,
Yep.
for Justin Bohn, and for Brandon Bohn.
Whoa. I don't know
think
if you
we
can
need
throw all
3
three of
dunk
those in there.
tanks. And you know what? I would be so supportive of this event. I'd come back just to dunk all 3 of you guys.
Yep, you would say that.
I would do
be
it.
the guy to say that.
I'd wait in line for an hour for one throw, one chance, one opportunity to dunk you into a dunk tank, Brandon
Mike,
Bohn.
I hope your target is that 2-pin you missed on TV.
You were very funny because you missed a single pin on TV too now.
I did.
And I'm not going to let that spin slip because I remember the pin. I remember it. And unfortunately, all these viewers are not going to see it as much as they're going to see my 2-pin because you guys like to make fun of me. And that's not fair. Just because you're Brandon Bohn and you've won junior gold 3 times does not change the fact that you missed a 6-pin. All right?
Indeed. But I followed it up with a 3-7 conversion.
You did.
But anyway,
and you won.
getting back to your dunk tank real quick, I just want to say, Michael, for all the viewers out there and for everybody that's watching, I came into the bowling center today and with a very bright pair of shorts on. I have a teal.
Or better known as a bathing suit.
I was getting there. A teal, purple, and pink pair of shorts, also known as bathing suit.
Did United help out with that one?
United Airlines did not help me. I flew in Thursday afternoon, and I'm still baggageless. I don't know where my baggage is, and
I think it's on the way back to Iowa because it knows that it's not gonna get here in time.
You're
so
not
they're
gonna need
just
it
bring
now.
it to Iowa.
well, they told me 48 hours ago I'd have it 48 hours ago.
Okay.
So, anyway,
So, back to what makes our tournament an amazing event. This event is not possible without the volunteers. We have an incredible incredible team of people who help with this event. And what even makes it more special is all the people that say to me, how can I be a part of your event? How can I help you next year? I say it year after year that things keep running smoother and smoother. This year is like unbelievable. Everybody has a job, everybody stays in their lane, everybody's confident in what they're doing. And each year I feel like we add a new element to our event. This year we added the photographs.
Yes, Tom Russo is doing photographs.
Yep.
I actually got my own photograph
You did?
too. Yes, I
Nice.
did. Yes,
man isn't even involved in the tournament and got a photograph.
That's
How
pretty
awesome
cool.
is that?
Yeah,
Anybody can come get a photograph here at,
that
at our
shows you anybody could get a
Bohn's Willing
photograph.
Training. Anybody can come in that wants a photograph can get one. An action shot from Tom Russo Photography, who is also a sponsor of this year's event. As you see, his banner hanging over 11 and 12 on the right side of your screen here as we are in the middle of game 5 of 5 at the last qualifying squad of this year's event. And we're still waiting on a game 4 update. But Mom, we know you have lots of things to do and you play as an important role as PB3, also known as my dad. But
Your dad?
I don't like to call him that.
My
over,
husband?
Over the broadcast, he's known as the official tournament director. Well, you're the
How
official tournament director.
about the
but-
amount of talent that has come through this event and continues to come through this event every year? That's another thing. You didn't really touch up on that, but I
Well,
just want to say,
Michael,
just
if you didn't cut me off, I was getting there.
Well, I did, and I can do that. I am older than you, so I do have seniority rules. But Miss Leslie, I think the marketing team for this event doesn't get, the amount of work that you guys do, not only in the time of the event, but before the event happens, and getting people to come and getting people to bowl. And Brandon mentioned it earlier, you guys just set up an event, you make it happen, and people will show up. Bowlers who want to win and want to be in a competitive environment will show up. And it's, a testament to my story of how, a kid from Florida just decided, hey, you know what, this is a great tournament to bowl, and I want to do it. And, your 2 sons convinced me to come up here, and we did it. And let me tell you, I've been back every year since, except for one because I was at college.
Yeah.
But I have been back every year since, and it's because of the people, the friends, the family, and the competitive environment. as we just had Abigail Starkey, a great young girl player, right in front of us. The leader on this block was just right in front of us. The talent level continues to grow, continues to get better, and they all continue to show up at this event. And I think that is awesome, and I think it's a testament to how great you guys run your event.
You know, one thing I learned, Michael, years ago in a business I was in was to always invite people. You know, we can't ever assume, and that's a word I will teach our kids and anyone that I can. Please don't simply assume that someone is not able, they don't have the means. We don't always know. Whoa.
Interesting spare attempt.
Henry.
Yeah.
Looking for a little loft. Or a lot of bit of loft.
That was over there on lane 11 outside of our cover screen.
I think he was just having fun on his last shot of the tournament.
Yep.
But
so the only thing
as you were saying.
Yeah, I just want to teach you guys, you know, we don't always know everyone's situation. So, you know, we hear this term often, be kind, right? Be kind. Invite. Abby Starkey is an example of someone simply inviting her. Reached out to her, and not that she didn't know that the tournament was going on, but hey, we don't see that you're signed up yet, or we heard you might be coming, or in so many of these kids are examples. Maybe, you know, so-and-so's friend said to the next one, hey, I'm going. Are you going to go? You know, a simple invitation can go a long way. And the kids like to be a part of it, and it's so much like SYCs.
It is awesome. There is a big representation of different states at this event. I know for one, you know, you got Abigail Starkey, I think Illinois.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I think Illinois. My little brother from Florida, all the way from Florida. Haley Lindley, South Carolina.
Yeah.
And, you know,
North Carolina.
Caitlin Stoll, North Carolina.
Yep.
And the list goes on and on and on. A lot of kids up here from the Northeast, obviously.
Yep.
And we
I
were
met
talking
some
about
families
earlier.
from New York and Connecticut and Massachusetts and Delaware and Maryland, and Billy Gasson, I saw him here earlier.
Yep, we were talking about earlier how for the 20th anniversary a couple of years back that we had Cindy Scrosh from Germany came over, flew over.
I do remember I actually
tournament.
bowled him that year. I bowled against him that year.
He did end up winning, but I think a guy that's sitting in the booth with us actually ended up winning that year. And I'm not talking about myself.
Yes, I did. I did take it down that year. I was very fortunate enough to do that, and it was pretty awesome because it was, you know, it was the first. I get told, you, Brandon, you and Justin both, you know, texted me, like I said, wanted me to come up and were nagging me a little bit about it, and I said, you know what, to heck with it, why not? It'll be a fun time. So me and Dad made the trip, and you know, we didn't know this, but there was a hurricane going on at home in the middle of that. But I ended up winning, so then I told Phil when he was in the booth, there was 5 things on the airplane coming back home to Florida. Me, my dad, the Czech, and 2 other people. And a 160 or however many passenger airplane. That's the amount of people going back.
Oh.
It was funny. But yeah, it was. I was blessed to win that year, and then even more blessed to create some friendships that would now last a lifetime. And
Absolutely.
Which is awesome. And I think that's another great thing about your event. You guys bring people together. You bring families together from all around the country, and it's just a great time. All these kids, you never see a kid, you know, super frustrated at a parent or at themselves walking off the approach.
No.
Yes, they all want to win, and every athlete does. But everybody knows we're here having a great time, and that's what I think makes this event so special.
Wow, your words, Michael, are just heartwarming, you know? And I've never said that before to you, Michael, but your words, you know, they're hitting in a different type of way today.
I try my best. I think I might pursue a career as a sports announcer, commentator. I think I'd be pretty good at it. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. You tell me.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe if that bowling doesn't work out.
Well, if it keeps working the way it's working out, I could see a sports commentator in your future very soon, actually.
You are not very nice today.
Well,
what is that all about?
Happens to the best of us, Michael, and I've always said this. I don't pick on you. I don't love you. So, no homo.
Well, you pick on me a lot, so I guess you must really love me.
I really, you know, Michael, you've been a brother to me over the past few years. I've bowled doubles tournaments with you. I've done a lot of really dumb things with you, but I wouldn't trade them for the world. And you know, like Guy just said, you know, if I didn't care for you, I wouldn't make fun of you at all.
Yes.
But after 4 games, we do have a score update before Mom exits and gets ready to go do her thing to find the final number for each division. In the U15 boys, after game 4, the cut number is plus 27. It's gone up a few pins overall in this block, and it is Daniel Robertson right now in 17th place, who will go down another spot. Actually, oh, we just got a score update, Michael.
Well, if Daniel Robinson's in the top 16, it doesn't count because he's in there twice then.
So let's go
You understand?
we're just going to give off the number right now as it stands is plus 36, and it looks like there are a few duplicates. So looks like the cut number is plus 17 when you take the duplicates into consideration. So that is for the U18 boys. The U18 girls, it is looking like Kirsten Mickle is still your leader on the squad at minus 25. Abby Starkey is still in second at minus 54.
And is that minus 54 in the cut, right?
It is indeed. 16th place is minus 81 in the U18 girls
So
division.
she just needs to make spares this last game. Looks like she's got 125 in the 6th, so she just fills her frames here on out. She'll be good.
And then in the U15 boys division, there is one bowler bowling, Maxwell Benware, that is in the top 8 currently. The other bowler is 8th currently. And he started with 150, 150. He's got 230, 250 in the last game, minus 7. So your cut number for the U18 boys, our U15 boys stands right now at minus 48. And then your cut for the U15 girls is at minus 192. But as we wrap up here on 7 and 8, we're going to take a look at some other pairs. But first off, we're going to let Mom,
I just want
tournament
to
director, go.
ask Miss Leslie one more question. She's been involved with this tournament for a very long time, so she will definitely know the answer. Has it always been 2-game total wood double elimination?
No, it hasn't.
And when do you
And
remember?
for 3 years, it wasn't held at Howell Lanes. It was in Hamilton.
Correct.
So for the last 19 years, it's been here at Howell Lanes.
And since it came here, it's always been that way, or?
No.
It has not. So depending on how long we want to keep Mom, we actually just got an update on 25 and 6. There was a front 7 alert from
Ooh.
Joey Stango. So as Mom can get into more details about the tournament.
What is he at for these 4 games? I think that'd be something to look for.
So let her continue, and we'll watch Joey Stango here on 27 and 8 at 7 and 8, wrapping up.
So we talk about the friendships and the relationships that are built in this amazing game. I just want to give a shout out to Chuck and Deborah Gardner from Bowl for Life. They started a few years ago this incredible foundation to give back, a scholarship foundation to give back to the youth bowlers. And for those of you that are listening who aren't familiar with Bowl for Life, this organization gives monies to kids based on everything except bowling ability. So it's not based on your bowling skills. It's not based on how many pins you knock down. It's oftentimes awarded based on an essay that you wrote.
And if I understand correctly, they did give away $5,000 this year.
$5,000.
Which is
so
awesome.
Chuck and Deborah a few years ago hosted their own Bowl for Life tournament, and recently they've decided to just partner with tournaments that are already in place. They felt that the industry already had enough amazing scholarship events that were out there, and they just wanted to, you know, earn or not earn money, to solicit sponsors and create this incredible pool of money that they could go and partner with tournaments and give them money to just add to their events. And when we met
Is that
with
tied in with Brunswick Youth
Experience.
Is that tied
Nope.
in together? Okay.
No, it's not. It's actually separate. So Chuck's and Deb's goal last year was to award $120,000 in scholarships to kids in the industry this year. And with that being said, when we spoke to them back in June, they said they wanted to increase their support this year from $3,000 to $5,000. So they gave us $5,000, and we drew 20 names this year for kids before they even threw a bowling ball. 20 kids would earn $250 in scholarship,
Just awesome.
which is incredible. And having Chuck here on hand this year, I know. Oh, look at this. Oh,
front
outstanding.
nine.
Front
Front
nine.
nine on 25 and 6, and we just want to take a quick look at Joseph Stango. After the first 4 games, he is 122 under, so he will not be bowling tomorrow. But he has something, he has a chance at something bigger than bowling tomorrow. He has
That
a
is
chance
true.
for perfection. The second perfect game of the tournament so far in this year's event. Stepping up on lane 25.
Which is
Short.
pretty awesome. We don't have a lot of perfect games in this tournament
No,
over the years.
no,
I
we
know
don't.
that for a fact. We do not have a lot.
I
So
believe we had one last year. We've had one so far this year.
Last year was Ty Kara.
It was indeed, and as we talked about earlier, he went on. He took that 300 game. That was his first squad last year, and he took that 300 game,
we
got
made it
into
to
the top
PBA
16,
PBA Junior.
and made it all the way to the title match to get to the PBA Junior National Championship.
So this gentleman, if he shoots 300,
Doesn't matter what he does here in the 10th frame, he will not be bowling
He
tomorrow,
is playing.
unfortunately.
He is playing for pride, though.
I'll tell you
this
what.
would be an awesome situation.
He is indeed. He's looking for something that not a lot of other people can say. So,
Here we go.
Stepping up on lane 25.
it's got to hook a little.
Oh, great shot.
And a 7-pin.
Need a little bit of help.
Yeah.
Still gonna be pretty awesome to say he had the front 9. Awesome. All right, I think we are going to be wrapping up.
So for anyone who'd like to see the results, they can follow our result page at parkerbohn3.com. You will see results. You can visit us on or check us out on Instagram at PB3 Tournament as well as Facebook. So you'll see lots of results, pictures, and everything going on here this weekend at Howell Lanes.
And just to wrap up, before we got done with, before we discovered Joseph Stango's shot in the 9th frame, we were talking about Bowl for Life, and you can visit them online or on Facebook. Just type in Bowl for Life, and you will find them. And they give away so much scholarship money to people, as Mom said, not bowling capable ability.
Not bowling skills.
Perfect. That's what I was looking for, and it's based on just being there, and you don't even have to be.
So every month there's an opportunity to win scholarship money. So check it out. Thanks, guys, for having me. I am going to go wrap things up. It's been a pleasure talking to you both, and we will see you later.
Yes.
All right. We're going to have
All
Phil
right.
come back into the booth, also known as $2 Phil.
Yes.
How about that for a little bit of excitement at the end?
There we go. We're going to keep
Front
it on
9.
25 and 6.
Yeah, they're pretty much going to be the last pair done the way this looks. So, yeah.
Abigail just put a double together in the 10th frame. She is going to solidify her spot in the top 16 for tomorrow. She will be bowling. Phil, remember how I said I did not see anybody playing straight up the lane right at 5?
Yep.
Miss Abigail Starkey is doing that. And
Surprised it took players this long to realize it was
posting a
probably
number
there.
as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
So for all bowlers that are in the number, by the number, around the cut number, scores will be official very soon. And for everybody that is bowling tomorrow, competition starts at 9 a.m. with all players being here at 8:30 in the morning.
Let's thank everybody for watching today. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for watching these incredible athletes. Thank you to all our sponsors. And it was a great day of bowling. We had a lot of great things happen today. We had a 300 today from Daniel Robinson. More excitement with the front 9 down there. Phil,
And
anything to say?
Hey, lots of championship finals tomorrow. Can't wait to get everything set up inside of Rev Rates VIP for those finals. The girls under 15 finals is going to happen pretty early, so probably start paying attention to your YouTube feed on the either the Justin Bohn page or the PB3 scholarship page, because those finals are going to pop up right before they start. So we got the girls 15 and under first, boys 15 and under second, girls 18 and under third, and the boys 18 and under will be the last ones taken in the lanes tomorrow. So
Like you said, Phil,
lots of
I am
championships.
super excited for bracket play tomorrow. That's just when a lot of exciting things happen. Kids get the opportunity to really show what they're made out of, especially tomorrow. So
Yeah. So and most likely it's going to be MJ and Justin Bohn on the call, since Brandon's going to be a little busy trying to win this title.
I hope
And
so.
I'll be steering the ship.
maybe we'll be talking to Brandon by like 2 o'clock.
At some
that's
point,
true
maybe.
too. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
maybe if he leaves too many 6 pins, that'll be the case. But
Yeah, we were talking
whoa,
earlier.
Whoa,
Yeah, you know, the junior gold. As we see, Jake Diaz running it out in 10th and 11th to possibly get himself into the
that
numbers.
must have been important.
Yeah,
That
but
must
anyway,
have been important.
getting back to that 6 pin that I never want to see ever in my life again, that I missed on Bowl TV, the Junior Gold Championships. But we
You
don't,
can check it out. I bet it's in the archives.
probably, but we don't want to talk about that. We just
why pay to watch that when you can watch all this tomorrow for free?
Yeah.
Thanks to the
it's
Bohn
good.
family.
But I just want to say a huge shout out to Phil for coming down
Yes.
from the Midwest area. He didn't have to do this, but he's coming down to.
And thank you,
showcase-
Phil.
I had to
for,
see this in person. I had to see this in person. I've heard good things about it. I had to be here in person. It's everything I've heard and more. So,
Yes,
As
thank
well
you
as
for
Phil.
giving me and Brandon the opportunity to come and speak with you for these 5 games.
Yeah,
it was a lot
absolutely.
of fun.
it was nice kind of staying behind the scenes, watch you guys take things over, steer the ship a bit, and hey, there's a future for you guys in broadcasting. Let's get out of here. They're all
maybe,
done bowling.
maybe.
We got some food to be had for dinner. Hopefully, everybody out there else has a good night. Back here 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.